everyone. So in the previous sessions, we discussed about the behavioral questions that are usually asked during the interviews. All right. But now today, let us understand how to work on a technical interview round. So rather how to deal with such type of questions where your technical expertise are being questioned. Okay. Now, when we talk about the technical interview round, these are designed to assess a candidate's subject matter expertise, their problem solving skills, their analytical thinking, their practical applications of technical knowledge. So, unlike HR or general rounds that we discussed previously, they focus on personality, they focus on communication and the cultural fit. This round dives deep into your technical competence, your technical expertise. So, it is a very common interview round in industries such as IT, engineering, finance, data science, consulting, research, and product development. Okay. Now, when we talk about what does a technical interview round looks like? Okay. So now, when we talk about the format of the interview, okay, before that, let us work. There are some questions here. Okay, so types of questions that are asked during the interview. Okay, so these are general questions to know you better. There are organizational questions to know whether you know about the organization that you're applying for. Behavioral to understand whether you will be able to handle the cultural culture or maybe different types of projects that are there, different types of works that is there in the organization. Then situational based on giving you different types of situations and then working on it. That is where you will understand the interviewers are going to give you situations and they will assess how ready are you to solve them. Okay, then we have technical. This is what our focus is today, right? So technical means here they are going to assess your expertise. All right, now let us now work on understanding what does a interview, technical interview around looks like. So first is when we talk about the format of the round. So it can be written or it can be online test. So physically that you will go to the company and then you will write, okay? Or it can be online as well. So before the actual interview, some companies conduct online coding challenges, aptitude test, or domain specific test. Okay. Then there are one-on-one interviews conducted by the technical panel member, like maybe a senior engineer, manager, or domain expert. Then there can be your panel interview. So multiple interviewers from different technical background, they question you together, right? And then we have practical hands-on tasks. So sometimes candidates are asked to solve a real world problem, debug code, design a system, or analyze case studies. Okay. And the types of questions you can expect in your interview round is core subject knowledge questions. So these test your fundamentals in your field. So example, if you are a software engineer, might be asked about data structures, algorithms, then there are OOP concepts are there, or databases. Okay, so for example, they can ask you questions like, can you explain the difference between an array and a linked list? Okay, when would you see each? So this is something related to the technical side, software side. Okay, then another type of questions are like problem solving or coding questions. So practical coding or numerical problems. Okay, problem solving to check logical thinking. So for example, they'll ask you to write a program to reverse a string without using built-in functions, right? The next type of question is scenario based case study questions. So you may be given a business or a technical scenario and asked how you would solve it. So for example, how would you design a system to handle millions of user requests per second? Then we have tools and technology questions. Here, questions related to specific tools, software relevant to the job. So for example, what is the difference between SQL and no SQL databases? Then there will be questions like debugging or optimization questions. So you may be given flawed code or a process and asked to fix or optimize it. So example, here's a piece of code with errors. Can you find the correct them? Okay, so latest trends and practical applications also they can ask you about. So to check how updated you are with the industry. So for example, they can ask you what are the advantages of using AI in supply chain management. So, according to your expertise, you will be asked questions. So if you have any doubts, at the end of the session almost, we are open for question and answers round. Okay, so keep note down your questions, your doubts, and then we can discuss it almost at the end. Okay, now, when we talk about the interview, the whole interview, how does it look like? Here, the interviewers, they assess what basically they assess in this round. So first thing is they assess the depth of knowledge, how well you know the fundamentals and advanced concepts. They want to know about your problem solving abilities, how logically and creatively you approach challenges. Okay, they work on practical application. Can you apply theory or real world scenarios? Okay. Then analytical thinking, breaking down complex problems into simple steps. They want to check your attention to detail as well. How carefully you analyze errors and edge cases. Then they want to see your communication of thought process. Explaining your reasoning clearly is just as important as finding the right solution. Okay. Then the duration. Many people have this question or they are not very clear about what should be the duration or what basically is the duration of a technical round. So technical rounds, they can last anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, okay, depending on complexity. So some companies conduct multiple technical rounds like coding round, system design round, technical deep dive round. Okay, depending on all those rounds, the duration is usually from 30 to 2 hours. Okay. Now, these are different types of technical questions like we have what is one of the latest computer processors? Which desktop operating systems are you familiar with? What is the average call period while dealing with customers? Okay, so these type of questions are usually asked, and also you will be asked to do different types of activities also. So once if you are done with your activity round, then you will be called for a face-to-face round, right? Where one-on-one interview or maybe panel interview might be there, and they will ask you questions like this. Okay, so you have to be ready for both type of rounds. So there can be multiple problem solving or written type of test will be there. And as well, you will be going for the one-on-one. Okay, then when we talk about how to answer these technical questions. Okay, so behavioral questions, last time we understood how to work on them, right? So this time also we have to understand how to answer these type of technical questions. Okay, so first one is understand the question fully before answering them. Don't rush. Listen very, very carefully and clarify if needed. Okay, so for example, you can ask questions like, just to confirm, are you asking about my experience with cloud deployment or specifically with AWS services? Okay, this shows attentiveness and ensures you don't go off track. Right, so you are asking question to make sure that, okay, this is what you meant. And accordingly, then you will work on it or you can give your answer. Then think aloud. Show your thought process. Very, very important. Employers often care about how you approach a problem than whether you immediately know the right answer. So they want to check how you are trying to approach the problem. So walk them through your reasoning. So first, I would break the problem into smaller components. Then I will do this. Then I will do X and Y, and then if that doesn't, then I will move to Y. So this demonstrates your analytical ability and problem solving skills. Okay. Then when you're working when you have a question in front of you, so use the star method. If you remember, we discussed, or if you don't know about it, we discussed about the star method in detail in our previous sessions, especially in behavioral round. Star method is the key to answer your questions, and here also. So, when asked about your past projects or problem solving abilities, then you can take up the star approach. So S means situation, T means task, A means action, and R means result. So situation is set the context. Okay, whatever the situation or the context was, work on it, explain that in detail. Then what was your responsibility? That is your task. Explain your responsibility, your role. What were you supposed to do? Then the action. A is action. Then describe what you did. What were the actions, the steps that did you take? And then the result. Highlight the outcome. And it should be quantifiable outcome. Okay, so you can say that, for example, in my last project, the server response time was very slow. So this is now your situation, right? And I was responsible for optimizing queries. This is your task. Of course, you can explain. I'm just giving an example here right now. I analyzed logs, rewrote complex queries, and indexed databases. So that will be your A. That is action that you took. And the response time improved by 40%. So that is your result, and 40% is your quantifiable result. Okay. Then admit if you don't know, but show willingness. It is very important. There are, of course, there can be some points or some concepts that you are not aware about. It's okay to not know everything. So here, what will you do? How we will speak? So example, say I haven't worked extensively on XYZ concept, but I have experienced with say Y concept, and I'm confident I would pick it up quickly. Okay, so it shows honesty, humility, and your adaptability. That yes, you might not know, but you're aware about that concept, but you might have not worked on it, but you're willing to work on that. Okay, so there your adaptability is very, very important in organizations. Then structure your answer clearly, very, very clearly. Use frameworks like explain the concept, basic definition, give an example, relate to the job role. So here what you can do, say if there is a question about coding algorithm. Okay, then you can say this algorithm uses dynamic programming. For instance, I applied it in my project where then you can discuss about it in your company's work with large data sets. This approach would help optimize, then continue. Okay, so this is how you will work on your structure. Very, very important. So first, what you will do, you will follow this framework. Explain the concept. Second is give an example, and then relate this, the concept that you're discussing about, relate that to your job. Okay, then practice with mock questions. So practice is the key to every type of interview. You should have the skills and then you need to practice. So study common technical questions for your field. You can easily find it everywhere, anywhere digitally, they are present everywhere. Okay, so study, we will also discuss from there. You can get such type of questions. We will discuss that also. Don't worry. So study common technical questions which are related to your field, to your expertise, to your area. Okay, use mock interviews. There are different, try to work on different types of questions and sit in front of the camera, or maybe sit in front of the mirror. If you sit in front of the camera, that is the best thing, because you will be able to record yourself and then see how you're behaving, how your body language is, and then are you willing to answer, how, if your answer is correct or not. So it will help you to work on yourself. Okay, then show depth, not just breadth, right? So instead of listing all technologies, go deep into few of them. So for example, you can say, I have worked with Python for 3+ years using libraries like XYZ of data analysis. So one project involved cleaning 10 million plus records efficiently, and then you can discuss those things. Okay, so it shows expertise and your real world application abilities. Okay, then connect to real business impact. So the interviewers, they know that you are an expert in these fields, and you know the answers. Explain the why. Okay, so when you're talking about a particular topic, discuss why. So by optimizing the API, we reduced downtime, which improved user experience and reduced churn. So this can be one of your way of explaining the concept. Okay, so recruiters love candidates who link technical skills to results. The STAR method, that is what you can use here. Okay, stay calm under pressure. So, usually if you have panel interview, so that time they will bombard you with the number of questions. So and also sometimes what happens when you get a problem to solve as well, so that time you might get under pressure, because they are time based also. And sometimes maybe you're not very clear about it. So if solving a live coding or problem solving question, take a breath, relax. Okay, let me think. Think about it. Let me think through the steps out loud, and then I will explain. So this makes silence less awkward and shows logical thinking. So even if you don't reach to the correct solution, still you're working on the approach and you're talking out loud. Okay, which your recruiters are listening to, and this is what they want. Okay, clear? Okay. Now, please remember all the questions, wait for them, and then we will discuss. Don't worry. We have enough ample amount of time, and we will work on the questions also. Okay. Then, when we talk about the industry knowledge here. So first one is identify and exploit new opportunities. The one that you're seeing in the teal color, this one. Okay, so this aspect emphasizes the ability to spot emerging trends, innovations, and market demands in an industry. So you should have this type of skill to explore better opportunities. So professionals with strong industry knowledge, with they can recognize gaps or unmet demands, unmet needs, and they can create strategies, products, or services to fill them. Okay, so this particular industry know-how will help you to drive growth, be innovative, have innovative approach, and have a competitive advantage. Of course, see, you are not a only person who will get interviewed. There might be hundreds of people. You never know, right? So that is why have this type of industry know-how when you are getting ready for the interview. Okay. Now, here the gray color one, it talks about how you can stay ahead of competition. So industry knowledge allows you to monitor your strategies, work on your benchmarks, whatever performance benchmarks that you anticipate different types of shifts in your field and also in the hiring process. Okay, so stay updated. So here you can adapt faster and maintain a good position among your competitors. Okay, so ensure that you have long-term survival. So this type of skill will help you to ensure long-term survival in the market. Okay, so because see what happens, if you're working in the organization, you just don't want to be saturated at one place, right? You want to grow. So these skills will not just help you during your interview process, they will help you in your life. Okay. Then we have this compliance with regulations. So every industry is governed by a set of laws, policies, regulations that businesses must follow. So industry knowledge means staying aware of all these information also. Okay, understand how you as a employee can help organization follow all the compliance and different types of regulations. All right. Then we have the orange one here, awareness of security issues. So in today's digital and the world is interconnected. So industries face growing cybersecurity threats, data privacy concerns, and operational risks. So if you have strong industry knowledge, it involves recognizing such type of potential vulnerabilities and implementing maybe some preventive measures. Okay, so here these are few of the industry knowledge that you should already have with you. Doesn't matter you are applying for what position or what type of expertise you have. These are some things that you should be well aware about the industry also and about the company that you're applying. Okay, now this was the question that I told you that we will discuss about. So from where will you get good information about how to find good industry knowledge? Okay. So first one is of course official and reputed sources. So you have government and regulatory websites are there. So which will tell you about the compliance and legal frameworks are there, right? Then you have technical websites as well. Then there are different types of websites like IEEE, IMA, right? Which publish different types of reports, standards, and insights about the industry, the updates about the industries. Okay. Then we have industry reports and market research. So McKinsey, Deloitte, PwC, KPMG, then you have EY reports. Okay, so these consulting firms, they publish free reports on trends, risk and opportunities. You can go to their platforms and you can search. So they talk about, they have Statistia. These are the platforms that they use. So that is Statistia, IBIS World. Then you have Modor Intelligence. So these are the different types of market research platforms that they usually use, and you can get information from these platforms also. Then you can take reports from World Bank, IMF, UN reports for getting the global industry outlooks. Okay. Then you have news and media. So business news platforms. So you have Economic Times, you have Times of India, you have Harvard Business Reviews are there. Okay. Then you have Bloomsburg. So these are very good websites. Then you can go for industry specific journals and magazines. So for tech, we have TechCrunch, Wired. And if you're if you are a person who's techie in healthcare industry, then you have BMJ, Lancet. So, and for energy, renewable energy, all these things, you have Renewable Energy World. These are very, very good, amazing places, right? Magazines and journals, and you can get lots of amazing information from there. Then you can go, there are podcast and YouTube channels. Like Henry Harvin has its YouTube channel. There are many techies and technical companies. They have got their own YouTube channels. So many professionals share analysis and trends there. So there, for example, I can give you some couple of examples here. The Daily Stoic podcast, the Daily Stoic Stoic podcast. Then Masters of Scale for Startups. These are good ones that you can definitely work on. These are good, podcast and YouTube channels. Then you have professional communities and networking. So you can go to LinkedIn, follow industry leaders that are there, companies, join groups in your niche, in your area. Then you have Quora, Reddit, Medium. So industry specific communities, they also share amazing trends and personal insights, some very, very good personal insights from the experts there. Then there are conferences, webinars, meetups. They are online as well and they're offline too. So attend these events like you have TechCrunch, Disrupt is there, Pharma Summits are there, Renewable Energy Expos are there. Okay, so you can work on these. Then you have online learning platforms are there. So there are different types of platforms. They offer industry specific courses, AI, finance, marketing, all these things they provide. Okay. Then you can go for company specific knowledge. So company websites. So learn about the strategies, mergers, and product launches, products and service launches that they are doing. Then their annual reports, their investor presentations. Okay, then you can go to job portal websites are there like Glassdoor. Amazing information. They experts there also share good information. Then you have practical hands-on learning, case studies, simulations and projects are there. Then you have mentorship and informational interviews. So you can speak, you can reach out to professionals in your field and which can give you some amazing unfiltered knowledge, raw knowledge, which is amazing for your, career development. Okay, so one tip I will give you here to create a personal industry knowledge journal. I also work for my own niche. So I also have a very, very personal industry, my own journal where I share, where I note down all the trends. I work on the different types of competitors that are there and what are the new things that, my competitors are doing. So what will you put there? You can talk about the trends that you are observing through all these, the resources that we have just discussed here. Then you can work on the what your key players and competitors are doing. So maybe you might know people around. Ask them. So what are they doing? Are they learning? Are they upgrading their skills? What are they doing? So whenever I get to know that some colleague or maybe someone I know, they are doing different types of courses, I ask them, right? If they're trying to upskill themselves. So I ask them, what are you doing currently? Can you please tell me? I'm also interested. There's nothing wrong in doing that. Then you can work on some regulatory updates that you can find and some good innovations in your field, right? Some opportunities. Look for these things always, even if you're not looking for opportunities, you're very much happy in your organization. Still look because you will know what new things companies are asking, new skills the companies are asking. You can work on that on yourself. Okay. Now, case studies, they are one of the best thing that has created to get ready for the world outside. Okay, so why basically the case studies helps us? They show practical application of your skills instead of just theory. Okay, so theory is you have learned. Now case study is there, you will apply the theory there, you will apply the concepts, right? Then they will help they help interviewers visualize you solving the real problems. They allow you to stand out by giving very, very structured, story-based answers. Okay, so now, whenever you're working on your case studies, so how to approach? Okay, first one is whenever you're working on it, identify what are the key problems that are there in the case study. Okay, so pick a scenario where you might be able to solve some technical issue. Pick that up. Okay, if you can provide some, if asked about innovation, so work on that. If they are asking you about to solve that problem issue by using your concepts, then do that. So whatever activity that they have given you, but it is important to understand what is going on in the case study. Then use the star method in your case study also. So star is S is situation, describe the situation. A is the action. Okay. So what steps or technical solutions can you apply there, or did you apply rather? Okay. Then work on the result. Sorry, then work on the action, and then work on the result. Like, this is, if we do these steps, this is the result that we can achieve. Okay, clear? Then work on the tools that you might use there, right? So different types of tools or methodologies or maybe frameworks you can use to solve the issues in the case study. So that will show your depth of technical knowledge. Just theoretically do not explain. Tell them, okay, we can use this particular tool, we can use this framework here. So this is how, if we apply, this is how it will work. So all those things is very important. Okay. And it is important that you keep your solution concise and impactful. So do not work on unnecessarily drowning your interviewers in details. Focus on what demonstrates your problem solving and analytical and technical expertise. How you can, in your solution, in your answer, you need to show these three things: your problem solving skills, your analytical skills, and your technical expertise. Okay, clear? Now, see, we need to understand why we need to practice. Very, very important. So technical interview, yes, it all works on your expertise, on your knowledge. But even it is important for you also to work on practicing for this round. Okay, so see such type of questions. These questions, though we have already worked on it. So something like, can you walk me through your typical troubleshooting process when faced with an unknown technical issue? Now use that star method and put your technical expertise there, how you solved those issues. Okay, then what are the first steps you take when you receive a report of a system malfunction? So according to your expertise, according to your domain, answer that in a structure manner. So what are the first steps? Go with the steps, the first step that you will take, maybe then after that, what you will do, like that. So describe how you would handle multiple users reporting the same issue simultaneously. So of course, there is a fault in the system because many people are complaining about the same thing. So now how would you handle it? Okay, and then you have to solve that issue. Right, and of course when you're given a problem, when you're given such type of solutions, they want a time based answer. They do not want you to sit and think. So these such, you have to prepare yourself, you have to practice yourself by giving yourself such type of questions. Okay, so that you can discuss. It is very important in the technical interview, which I just discussed about it, that you need to work on your problem solving, your expertise skills. Very, very important. Okay. Now, basically here are few things that I will tell you again. We have already discussed, but let me tell you again about these things. Is that when asked a technical question, don't just explain the theory. Don't do that. Okay. Tell a story through, you can use a case study. Like we just discussed how you can use a case study there. Okay. So tell a story through a case study. It makes you memorable. So your expertise, your your domain, then other persons, other people, your competition also might have that expertise. Same number of years of experience, everything's same. But the way that you answer, the way that you approach is what will make you apart from your competition. Okay, so it makes you memorable, credible, and much stronger as a candidate. Okay. Yes. So now we are open for questions. If anyone has any question, please let me know.